Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Weaver. Thank you for joining us. In today's lesson, we'll focus on Christmas decorations. We'll break down the essential vocabulary and phrases you need to talk about them in English, making the learning process simple and highly effective. Hello, how are things going today? I hope you're ready to dive into some festive vocabulary.
Things are absolutely great, thank you. I'm feeling really cheerful and, ready for this topic. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thanks for asking. I'm feeling energetic, and I'm so excited for today's topic because it's so relevant right now. How about you?
Me too. This is such a fun and practical subject. It gives us a great opportunity to practice some really essential, everyday conversational English. I can't wait to get started.
That's wonderful. And, before we begin, if you find this lesson useful and helpful for your English journey, please remember to hit that like button. Your support, well, it helps us immensely.
And please share this with a friend who is also learning English. Learning together always makes practice better.
Thank you so much to everyone for listening and for supporting us. Now let's jump right into learning how to talk about Christmas decorations. Okay, so to begin, we're focusing on how to start a casual conversation about Christmas decorations.
Right.
This is so important for A2 and B2 learners because it teaches you not just new words, but how to actually start and maintain that conversational flow.
Absolutely. When you meet friends or colleagues, especially around the holidays, this topic comes up almost immediately. You need some natural ways to express that you're excited or to ask about their tradition.
Exactly. So the first key phrase we want to practice is all about anticipating something good. When you're excited about an upcoming activity, you need a clear way to express that excitement naturally. The essential structure is, are you looking forward to event activity?
A great one.
Let's break this structure down slowly because it has a very important grammar point that can be a little confusing for English learners.
Oh, definitely. It's a very common point of confusion.
It is. The core idea is the expression, to be looking forward to. It just means you're happy and excited that something positive is going to happen soon.
It's such a great way to show enthusiasm for the holidays.
Now, here's the tricky part. Notice that the phrase ends with the preposition to. Usually when we see to before a verb, we think of the infinitive, like to eat or to go.
Right.
But in the phrase looking forward to, the to is part of the whole phrasal verb structure. It's a package deal. This means we have to follow it with a noun or a verb that ends in ink, the gerund form.
Yes, that is so important to remember. You cannot say, I am looking forward to decorate. We hear that mistake a lot.
We do. Think of it like a fixed pattern. So let's try it with our topic, decorations, using the verb put up.
Okay.
Are you looking forward to putting up your decorations this year?
Absolutely. I start looking forward to it right after Thanksgiving. That's when I start gathering all the boxes and planning the colors.
See. Perfect. You use putting up. Let's try another one with a noun. I am really looking forward to Christmas this year.
Simple and effective.
Now let's have you, our listener, try repeating the full sentence structure with me. Listen carefully to the pronunciation, especially that ing form. I am looking forward to decorating. Again, I am looking forward to decorating. Great. And now let's try the negative. Because you might not always be excited about everything.
That's true. Some parts are a lot of work.
Exactly. Let's repeat this one. I'm not looking forward to untangling the lights. One more time. I'm not looking forward to untangling the lights. Excellent. The second important pattern is for asking about habits or traditions. You use the simple present tense. The question is, when do you usually verb?
This is so fundamental for discussing routines. It's perfect for asking about when people start their holiday activities.
The word usually is really key here. It tells us we're asking about a common habit, something that happens every year, not just this one time.
Right. A tradition.
Let's try it in a short dialogue. When do you usually start decorating your home?
I usually start on the first weekend of December. I like to wait until December has officially arrived before I get too festive.
That's a nice tradition.
All right.
I tend to wait until the weather gets cold enough to really feel like Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, now listen and repeat this question structure with me. We'll say it slowly, twice. Notice how the voice rises a little at the end. When do you usually start decorating? Again, when do you usually start decorating? Now let's practice a possible answer. I usually start after the Thanksgiving holiday. Let's repeat that. I usually start after the Thanksgiving holiday. So just to summarize, you now have two really strong phrases. One to express anticipation with looking forward to, and one to ask about timing with When do you usually?
And they're useful not just for Christmas, but for talking about any upcoming event, like a vacation or a birthday. They're super versatile.
Absolutely. Now let's move on to the practical part, the actual actions of putting up decorations.
The fun part.
Yes. And we're not just learning single words like lights. We're learning the phrases, the combinations of verbs and nouns that native speakers use all the time.
And understanding these phrasal verbs is so essential. They're used constantly in everyday conversation.
The first important action phrase is putting up the lights.
Ah, classic.
The key here is the phrasal verb put up. When we put up something, it means we place it high, or assemble it, or just make it visible. We use put up for lights, for trees, for big displays.
For anything you're sort of constructing or displaying.
Right, and you can use it for outdoor lights, on the roof, in the yard, and for indoor lights, like around a window. Here's an example sentence. We need to put up the colorful lights on the outside of the house. Now, listen and repeat that sentence with me. Focus on that phrase, put up. We need to put up the colorful lights on the outside of the house. One more time. We need to put up the colorful lights on the outside of the house.
That's a great one. And a helpful little distinction. Sometimes people say string up the lights, especially when they're wrapping them around tree branches, but put up the lights is the perfect general phrase. It always works.
That's a great clarification.
Okay.
Okay, our second action phrase is hanging the ornaments.
My favorite part.
Me too. The noun ornaments refers to those small decorative objects you hang on the Christmas tree branches. You know, the glass balls, stars, little figures.
All the beautiful, delicate things.
Exactly. And we use the verb hang specifically for these items because they dangle from a hook or a string.
Just like hanging a picture on a wall.
Right. Let's try an example sentence. My favorite part is hanging the small glass ornaments on the branches. Let's have you repeat that slowly with me now. My favorite part is hanging the small glass ornaments on the branches. And again, my favorite part is hanging the small glass ornaments on the branches. And while we're talking about hanging things, we should mention tinsel.
Oh, yes, tinsel. That shiny, metallic, stringy stuff. It can be a little messy, but it adds so much sparkle.
It does. And you definitely hang or you string tinsel on the tree.
Adds that wonderful shimmering effect.
It really does. Okay, our third essential phrase is setting up the Christmas tree.
The main event.
The main event. Exactly. We use the phrasal verb set up when we mean to assemble something or prepare it for use. This phrase works for any kind of tree. So if your tree is artificial made of plastic, you have to assemble the pieces and put the tree into its stand. You set it up.
And even if it's a real tree, a fresh-cut pine tree, you still have to set it up by placing it carefully in a stand that holds water. So set up covers both.
Right. It's the foundation for everything else. Here's a sentence comparing the two. Setting up the artificial tree is often quicker than finding a real one.
That is very true.
Let's try repeating a sentence about this action. Focus on set up. We are setting up the tree right now in the living room. Let's do it again. We are setting up the tree right now in the living room. Perfect. And finally, let's talk about the verb stringing.
Ooh, another traditional one.
Yes, as in stringing the popcorn or stringing tinsel. The verb string means to thread things together on a line, like beads on a necklace.
Yeah.
Or to carefully lay a line of material across something.
This verb is great for describing garlands, too. Those long lines of material you drape around things. We string lights, we string beads, we string popcorn.
Exactly. Here's an example sentence. My family likes to string popcorn and cranberries to make natural garlands. Let's have you repeat that now, focusing on the verb string. My family likes to string popcorn and cranberries. And again, my family likes to string popcorn and cranberries. So this section has given you all the active verbs you need. Put up, hang, set up, and string.
That's a really strong foundation for describing what you're actually doing.
It is. Now let's do one more little interactive practice. First, I want you to repeat this slightly longer sentence one last time. I need to hang the delicate ornaments carefully onto the highest branches. Again, I need to hang the delicate ornaments carefully onto the highest branches.
Okay, now here's a small prompt for you, the listener. We encourage you to say this out loud or write it down. Try to make one simple sentence using the phrase, set up the tree.
For example, we set up the tree on the 1st of December. Take a few seconds and try to think of your own sentence now.
That kind of quick practice, even just for a few seconds, really helps make the language stick.
It's the most important part. Okay, now we're moving toward a slightly more intermediate level of conversation. B1 or B2.
We're adding more detail now.
Yes, by using modal verbs and simple compound sentences. These are vital for talking about plans, making suggestions, and describing your preferences.
So we're moving beyond just describing what you did and starting to talk about what you should or might do. It adds a lot more depth.
Exactly. We'll start with a question pattern using the modal verb should. The question is, what kind of decorations should we get?
A very common question when you're out shopping.
It is. We use should when we're asking for or giving advice or making mild suggestion. It's much softer than saying must. It's perfect for brainstorming.
Right, it's collaborative.
Yes. So let's imagine a mini dialogue where one person gives a suggestion with should. Let's talk about ribbon. We should buy some new red ribbon this year. The old stuff is looking faded.
That's a fantastic idea because the old ribbon is too worn out and we need a brighter color.
Perfect. You just demonstrated a great way to link ideas using a compound sentence. You use the word because to explain the reason. That makes your English sound so much more fluid.
It connects the thoughts logically.
It does. Let's have our listeners repeat that suggestion and reason together, slowly. We should buy some new red ribbon this year because the old ribbon is too worn out. And again, we should buy some new red ribbon this year because the old ribbon is too worn out. Great. The second important modal verb is could. We use this to make polite requests, especially when asking for help.
This is a very important one for sounding polite.
It really is. The structure is, could you help me verb? Using could is much politer than can you help me, or just help me.
It shows consideration. It's a key nuance in English.
It is. So let's think of a common problem. Tangled lights. When the lights are all knotted together, the verb we need is untangle.
The worst job of decorating.
It can be. So here's a polite request. Could you help me untangle the Christmas lights? They're all knotted. Let's have you repeat this request. Notice how could you kind of blends together. Could you help me untangle the Christmas lights? One more time. Could you help me untangle the Christmas lights?
And you could use it for other things too, like could you reach that high box of decorations for me?
And a polite response would be, of course. I can easily reach the top shelf.
A perfect little exchange.
Now for our final pattern in this section. This one is about talking about your personal style and possibilities.
This is where you get to be creative.
Exactly. The structure is, I prefer style decorations, but I might use other style this time.
I like this one. It shows preference, but also flexibility.
Yes. You use I prefer X to state what you like best. Then you use the word but to introduce a contrasting idea. And then we use the modal verb might.
And might is key here. It means there's a possibility, maybe 50%. It's not a definite plan.
Exactly. It's an option you're considering. Now, when we talk about decorations, we often talk about a theme.
Right, like a color scheme or a certain style.
Yes, common themes are traditional, which uses red, green, and gold. Or modern, which is often silver and blue. Or maybe rustic, which uses wood and natural things.
Pine cones, things like that.
Right. So let's try an example using this complex structure. I prefer traditional decorations, but I might try a modern silver and blue theme this year. Let's repeat that complex sentence slowly. Focus on the contrast created by but. I prefer traditional decorations, but I might try a modern silver and blue theme this year. One more time. I prefer traditional decorations, but I might try a modern silver and blue theme this year.
And I can offer a slightly longer example, showing how you might describe your full preference. I love the rustic look, so I usually buy decorations made of wood and natural materials, and always use warm white lights instead of colored ones.
That's fantastic sentence. Used so usually and instead of. Really great linking language for our B2 learners.
It just helps the ideas flow together.
It does. Let's try shadowing that sentence. Shadowing means you repeat what you hear immediately after, trying to match the pronunciation and pace. Listen once, then try it with us.
I love the rustic look, so I usually buy decorations made of wood and natural materials, and I always use warm white lights instead of colored ones.
Okay, now try to say it right after.
I love the rustic look, so I usually buy decorations made of wood and natural materials, and I always use warm white lights instead of colored ones.
Excellent practice, everyone. Now, a quick prompt for you. Tell us, or just say out loud, what is your favorite color theme for decorations? Try to use I prefer.
And maybe name at least 2 colors.
Great idea. Okay, in our final content section, we'll cover the more cultural side of things, how native speakers talk about the feeling of the season.
This is about the emotional vocabulary that goes with the physical actions.
Exactly. The first key phrase is getting into the Christmas spirit.
A very common expression.
It is. When we talk about the spirit, we mean the general mood, the positive, excited feeling that comes with the holidays.
It's that cheerful, generous feeling. Goodwill and joy.
Right. And getting into it means you're starting to feel that positive mood. Decorating is often the very first step to getting into the Christmas spirit.
For sure, the lights, the music, it all helps.
It does. Here's an example sentence. Once we put up the tree and turn on the music, I really start getting into the Christmas spirit. Let's repeat that together. Once we put up the tree, I really start getting into the Christmas spirit. And one more time. Once we put up the tree, I really start getting into the Christmas spirit. Okay, the second important word you need is the adjective festive, as in it looks festive.
This is the perfect compliment.
It is. Festive just means suitable for a celebration. Cheerful, joyful, bright. It's the most common and polite way to compliment someone's decorations.
If someone says your house looks festive, it's a high compliment. It means you did a great job capturing that happy celebration feeling.
Exactly. Let's try a short dialogue. Wow, your front porch looks very bright and welcoming.
Thank you. I think the big green wreath makes it look really festive.
Let's repeat that key compliment phrase, using really to emphasize it. It looks really festive and beautiful. One more time. It looks really festive and beautiful. Great. And finally, we have to talk about the end of the season.
All good things must come to an end.
They must. So we need to discuss taking down decorations. The opposite phrasal verb of putting up is taking them down.
This is an essential phrase for wrapping up the season. To take down means to remove something and store it away.
Yes. And culturally, most native English speakers take down their decorations sometime after the New Year holiday, usually in the first week of January.
Right, you don't want to leave your lights up until March.
Definitely not.
No.
So let's practice asking about this using that same when do you usually structure. When do you usually take down your decorations each year? Let's repeat that question slowly. When do you usually take down your decorations? Again, when do you usually take down your decorations? And a possible answer might be,
We usually take them down right after the New Year.
let's repeat that answer. We usually take them down right after the New Year.
One last time. We usually take them down right after the New Year.
Perfect. That was a lot of really useful information today.
It was. We started with how to open a conversation using looking forward to and when do you usually. Then we covered the key action verbs, put up, hang, set up, and string.
Right. Then we moved to more intermediate sentences using should for advice, could for requests, and might for possibility.
And we learned important style words like theme and rustic. And finally, we learned how to talk about the feeling using getting into the spirit and it looks festive, and how to end the season by taking down the decorations.
That's a fantastic summary. Now you have all the tools, vocabulary, and sentence structures to talk about Christmas decorations in English with confidence. Thank you so much for joining us for this conversational English lesson. We hope that practicing these phrases has been helpful and that you feel ready to use them. We would love to know what you think. We encourage you to comment below or just practice speaking out loud. We would love to know, what is your favorite Christmas decoration and when do you plan to put it up this year? Remember, the absolute best way to improve your English is to practice listening and speaking every single day.
Keep practicing these new sentences in your daily life. Say them out loud, write them down. Every little bit helps you improve and feel more comfortable speaking English. And don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and share it with a friend if you found this conversation useful. Your support really does make a big difference.
We will be back soon with more English lessons and conversations to help you learn and grow your vocabulary with confidence. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great time decorating.
Goodbye. Keep practicing.
See you next time.